Welcome back, everyone. Pal Ponder on Weather here. In this update, we're tracking two areas of instability. The first one is lurking off the Carolina coast this morning. That is a continuing deepening area of low pressure that will spread up the eastern seaboard over the next 24 hours, spreading some more heavy rains for them. Then back behind the system across the middle of the country, it's going to be having a big warm up in the coming days. At the same time, we've got our main system. A more concerning system is a deepening area of low pressure center that will continue to dive southbound, spreading some heavier rains back into California. But once this slingshots eastbound, especially into Monday and Tuesday, that will set the stage for several days of severe weather going into your Monday and Tuesday timeframe. So I appreciate all my subscribers out there. If you are new to the channel and like detailed weather breakdowns, hit the subscribe button and you're in. You get all my daily updates on this channel, and I would love to reach 250,000 subscribers by the end of April, and you can help me get there by subscribing to the channel and following all my daily breakdowns. So here's the setup on the satellite picture this morning. We've got the area of low pressure highlighted off the Carolina coast. That's spreading northbound. That's spreading some more additional rains. I mean, this place has been inundated with heavier rains, especially as you get up into New Jersey and along the eastern seaboard. And that's exactly what they're going to get. So some of these locations could pick up some, again, 1 to 3 inches of rain. This is exactly what they don't need. But unfortunately, it's going to be inundating that area for the next 24 hours, and I think things do start to settle down once that moves out. So, but you can see the spread of precipitation, and looking at the overall reflectivity map over the next 24 hours, these darker colors, that indicates where the red areas are. That indicates where the heavier rains will likely be. So there's two impulses of energy. The first one's lifting north, and the second piece of energy will actually dive a little bit southeast. And once that does that, that will spread more heavy precipitation back into Florida as well, into central as well as back into southern Florida. But up the eastern seaboard, up the Carolina coast, spreading up into New Jersey, back into Long Island, and all the way up into the eastern seaboard would likely pick up another 1 to 3 inches of rain over the next 24 hours. But then the main system, as we head into Saturday, as we go into this weekend, it will be starting to lurk off the west coast. That's a 996 millibar low pressure center. That is going to spread some heavier rains, additional, actually potentially even flooding rains, especially down there into Southern California, starting the day on Saturday, which actually could spread into Sunday. So we're going to dive deeper into the forecast, but first, a word from my sponsor.
Hello, everyone. Today, I want to have a candid conversation about safeguarding our privacy in a digital age. As someone deeply invested in protecting my family's personal information, I understand the importance of staying vigilant in an increasingly interconnected world. That's why I'm excited to share with you an invaluable tool that made a profound difference in my life, Aura, today's video sponsor. I'll be honest, prior to discovering Aura, I was inundated with unwanted robocalls and constantly worried about the security of my personal information. It felt like a never-ending battle trying to keep up with the constant barrage of privacy threats. Aura is not just another identity protection service, it's a game changer. From the moment I signed up, I felt a sense of relief knowing that Aura was digitally working behind the scenes, safeguarding my family's privacy. Here's a list of the data brokers they were able to remove 14 different ones over the last couple of months. One of the things I love most about Aura is the simplicity of their platform. Everything I need to protect my family's privacy is right at my fingertips. If you're tired of feeling vulnerable online and want to take control of your digital privacy, I urge you to give Aura a try. With their 2-week free trial, there's a no risk involved, just the opportunity to reclaim your peace of mind. Visit aura.com/pal to sign up today and let Aura do all the heavy lifting. Trust me, you won't regret it.
So let's take a look at the surface map for your Saturday. There's that low pressure center, 996 millibar. You can see all the green colors there. That gives you an indication where the heavier rains would likely be as we get into the afternoon hours. back into central California, those areas into Los Angeles, Santa Maria, back into San Diego region would likely spread some heavier rains. Notice for a good part of the country, once this system moves off the East Coast, we do have some clearing back behind it. Those are some warmer conditions. It's going to be feeling a lot more like spring out there for many areas, but you're always going to have to contend with the heavier rains going into Saturday with that low pressure center, especially as we dive further south into California, heading back into the Los Angeles region, back into Irving, back into Oceanside, even including in the San Diego region. Remember, Los Angeles they actually got their entire year of rainfall the first 60 days of the year. So they're already basically above average for the entire year. So anything they get on top of that would obviously put them well above average for the year. So yes, more heavy rain for that area going into your Saturday. But heading into Sunday, there's warmer conditions. So you're going to have several days to really elevate those temperatures across the middle of the country. So today's Thursday. So by the time we head into your Sunday for your Easter Sunday, most of the areas across the southern and central plains are going to be experiencing some pretty warm weather, if not some 10 to 15 degrees on top of what you would normally see this time of year. You could be even looking at the middle 80s back into parts of Texas here. But there's a deepening low pressure center that's still lurking off the California coast that will finally start to move inland as we head into this Sunday afternoon. And as it does, that low pressure center, the jet stream, dips pretty far down there into the Baja of California. That's concerning. So, and it's actually slowed down from yesterday. We were looking at the timing between the global models of the GFS and the European. They're almost kind of looking more congruent now with a slower system, but unfortunately that means it's got extra time within the warm sector. Once this slingshots eastbound, that likely increases the instability and likely increases the severe threat as we head into Monday. So here's the setup for Sunday. So we got the heavier rains even into Saturday, but that low pressure center continues to dive south, and continued to dive south. It's not moving inland. So as long as it stays off the West Coast, it's still going to be spreading those heavier rains back into California. But you can see some colder air that will be lurking, because we do have a fairly significant cold shot of air that will be coming in on the backside, for the first week of April standards at least. And so once that kind of catches up to the system, that might be our saving grace to end the severe weather threat. But we've got several days that we're going to have to contend with severe storms. And I think it all starts to come to fruition as we head into Monday afternoon. Here's the low pressure on the latest European guidance highlighted across the Texas Panhandle. That would be a 997 millibar low pressure. And as we get into the afternoon hours and during the peak heating of the day, we've got some higher dew points to contend with. I think we've got a little bit more longevity in having that return of the Gulf of Mexico, and the moisture surge is a lot more evident versus the last two systems. It almost kind of resembles the middle of the March system, where we had some dew points in those mid to upper 60s, sometimes closer to 70. And that's concerning, folks, especially with that low pressure center hanging out and all the warmer conditions well ahead of that colder shot of air. That would likely set the stage for a round of severe storms, and a pretty big round. So right now, the Storm Prediction Center went ahead, even day 5 out, highlighted a pretty big swath of storm development as we head into Monday night. So would likely extend all the way down into North Texas, even possibly into the Central Texas region, would include the Western Oklahoma, Eastern Oklahoma back into Northwestern Arkansas, as well as pretty much all of Missouri here, and back into Illinois, as well as Indiana. And that's on the storm prediction model. And if you look at the latest learning model as well, you can kind of see the difference, right? So here's where the guidance is, where the SPC is. Here's where the learning model, and this is definitely concerning as this low pressure center will continue to lift up to the northeast. It's always to the right of there, into the warm sector. We've got to be concerned about with the greatest lift and the greatest shear at the surface too. So these could be some big time supercell thunderstorms with all three modes of severe storms, especially highlighted across north and northeast Texas, getting into Arkansas, back into Missouri, back into Illinois, as well as Indiana. So this could be a fairly significant widespread event heading into your Monday and Tuesday, going into that afternoon time frame. So if you look at the overall lightning index right now heading into Monday night, it's lit up like a Christmas tree, folks. So that's very concerning, but this would likely spread in the north and central, all the way maybe even down to South Texas here, with the main instability highlighted over Oklahoma and back into Missouri, and then it even extends for those areas into Illinois, back into Indiana, as well as into Ohio. And that would just continue to shift east as we go into the overnight hours, because the low pressure center would likely be setting up shop across Missouri by then. And right there in the southern flank, yes, we've got all that instability, very warm air mass tapping into it, a lot of shear at the surface. So yes, we could be looking at all three modes of severe storms heading into Monday night into the overnight hours. And it doesn't end there, because you're still well ahead of the cold front. So right now, even day 6 out, the Storm Prediction Center feels confident enough to highlight an area of slight risk that it would include the Birmingham region, back into Huntsville, back into Nashville, all the way up into a good part of Kentucky here, extending all the way up into Ohio. That would be the day on Tuesday, your April the 2nd. And again, you look at the learning model and see some of the differences here and the more widespread where it could actually go to as we get closer to this event. We were a little bit uncertain with the timing of the cold front yesterday when I updated how far fast, because of the uncertainty of the global models. But now we've got a little bit more congruency starting to come together. And it does appear with the system having to slow down, that's going to increase the instability further east. So yes, these would likely continue to be severe even into the southeast, back into Georgia, into the Carolinas, likely into Tennessee, back into North Carolina, even getting in Virginia and West Virginia. So again, with those two days extending from the Texas Panhandle through the Ohio Valley and then shifting off to the southeast and even up to the East Coast, yes, you're looking at a fairly large severe weather event coming up for Monday and Tuesday. And here's the cold front likely where it would be as we head into Tuesday night with the slower system. So again, there's the warm sector still within that corridor across Louisiana, much of the southeast, and much of Kentucky into the Carolina coast, with that colder shot of air still lurking behind it. So this puts this whole area continuing into play of the instability, and that instability of severe storms as we even head into later on the day on Tuesday, even into Tuesday night. And again, you look at the overall, lightning index right now, where these supercell thunderstorms could likely unfold, heading into later Tuesday, back into Louisiana with instability going through Mississippi, as well as into Alabama, through Tennessee, all the way up into Kentucky, through West Virginia. And these would continue eastbound into the overnight hours on Tuesday, eventually likely spreading into Georgia, back into South Carolina, into North Carolina, and extending into Virginia by there. But by the time we head into Wednesday, I think things do start to settle down. You'll lose a lot of the instability. I think the colder air comes in on the backside, would actually wipe away the severe threat. But by then, most of the system, most of the dynamics is heading off the East Coast. So yes, we've got a pretty significant, I think, 2-day event coming up, especially for Monday and Tuesday of next week. So guys, I appreciate you guys following. I will definitely keep you updated on a daily basis on this continued storm starting to come together. So I appreciate all you guys out there. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.